Hello there, I'm Green Pangolin, and I'm really excited to finally start playing this game today. This is Ways of Alchemy, an awesome little card-based alchemist simulator. Came out in full just today, almost without a warning. I have already made a video of this a couple months back, when it was still in the playtest phase, and the other day the devs were nice enough to gift me a Steam key. So, very big thanks Rocket Brush Games. The game is out today and currently having a launch sale for the next week, and even at the full price it is only 17.5 euros in my region, so that is basically a steal if you like games like Artist Simulator or Book of Hours, which are very great inspirations for this game. Oh yeah, you can have this game on Steam, both on PC and on the Steam Deck, so kudos for the team for thinking of that. Let's actually begin this game. Okay, I think everything is the way it was in the earlier builds, but if you think the UI is a little small, then do let me know, please. There is a setting to increase the UI scale just a little bit. So if this is more readable to you, then please let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm going to stay with the default scale. I see everything fine. So this is our playing field. Basically, just like a big table, like Artist Simulator did. We're going to keep placing all our cards in here. That's gonna become a little crowded if we do everything right. So here we have our alchemist. This card is what we are. The alchemist is one who finds no satisfaction in the paths the world offers and carves new ones that lead toward the heart of their desires. You have no second self, so take care not to perish from hunger or wounds, or your journey will be cut short. So yeah, you can actually get a game over if you neglect food or get too many injuries. Here you see the hunger meter, that's also down here. That's gonna slowly tick down with time. Here we have some energy. We're going to use this up as we go about our merry way. We have some veil. These are the 5 pillars of alchemy. These are basically your skill levels that will determine what kind of ingredients you can work with. Increasing these is going to be our main way of going forward. We are also a potioneer. This is a job description that's gonna allow us to actually work the alchemy tools. We're also a librarian, so we can read and decipher books. And we are a level 2 worker. This is basically the speed at which we work. Eventually we're gonna be able to pay some money to increase this stat. We are the player, so there's only one of us, and we're a level 3 human. I do not know what this quality means, but surely it means something, right? Okay, let's see what we have here. These are new. Create the grimoire. This is going to store every single card that we ever find, like recipes and such, and we can actually drag cards to and from the grimoire. That's actually a very nice way of keeping the playing field a little uncluttered. Okay, we have a tutorial here. Also got some frames. This is new. Huh, interesting. Oh, is this like... I don't know what to do with these. Possibly some sort of organization. We will see. Let's see what the tutorial says. Yep, have the grimoire here. You can speed up or pause the game up here. Click and drag to move cards here in the slots. All the properties are at the bottom here. Got the 5 pillars. All the key parameters here. This place keeps track of our money, reputation, all that jazz. You can store and retrieve recipes from the grimoire without limits. Recipes have a button for auto-filling, so you don't have to drag everything. You can move stacks individually or by the full stack. And there's also a bunch of links in descriptions that you can click to learn even more. And certain cards time out and disappear. Okay. It's fairly intuitive. Again, if you ever played Artist Simulator or Book of Hours, then all of this should be very familiar to you. Ah, here we go. This is the one button that I kinda requested during playtesting. You see, this is the Ascension tree. And our final goal as alchemists is to get all the way up here from the bottom where we start and finish the great work, which is the Philosopher's Stone. And you can actually pick whichever path you want to take. Oh, clever. You used to be able to read the tooltips of all of these, but it looks like they are hidden. Only the very next step is visible. I like that. It's very nice. Okay, enough gawking. Let's start this game. We start with an inheritance. Oh, wait, sorry. Other way around. Here we go. All your life, you've had strange dreams. You might think this is one of them. Yet, as you hold a letter written on crumpled paper, you feel truly awake for the first time. Your grandmother left you an inheritance, a plot of land near the city, and her secret. You never knew her, yet the acid-eaten paper feels strangely familiar in your hands, and the attached map beckons you to follow it. Drag your character card to the slot and press start to discover where the path leads. Okay, so we drag it here. With the crumpled letter in your hands, you feel truly awake for the first time. And now we start. It's gonna count down. And the game actually auto-pauses every time an action is finished. That is very nice of them. And so we found our inheritance, which is a cluttered shack. Okay, you see this frame here. It says front yard. Cards are going to spawn in here. So let's put it somewhere it wouldn't be in the way. Okay, I right-clicked it and it says, customizable frame with no other purpose than to help organize your space. Resize it by dragging the bottom right corner. Aha, so this is what it is for. Little extra organization. I like it. They really didn't need to do that. But it's a very nice touch. On the plot stands a shack filled to the brim with all manner of things. You need to carefully set it in order. Let's get going then. It is a lot of work to sort through all these things, but it fills you with excitement. Your new life lies hidden somewhere here, beneath the boxes. We can make the game go with double speed. We found a plot of land, some turnip seeds, and a tutorial for the basics. Let's read this. Glorious future awaits you, but the start is not easy for anyone, especially for an alchemist. Fortunately, you received a magical grimoire that will help you figure it out. The hotkey to call it is G. The grimoire contains detailed instructions on how to obtain the cards you need, and also stores all your papers and notes. Make sure that your alchemist does not die from hunger or wounds or become overtired. Check tutorial tab for shortcut tips. Already did that. Explore, read the properties of the cards, and click on card slots to see which cards can be combined. Combination possibilities will also be highlighted when you hover over a slot or pick up a card. Alright, and now what we can do is open the grimoire and put the basics back in here. So now it's not going to be out here on the field. But if we feel like it, we can just have an unlimited amount of them here. It's a little silly, but you have the power to do it. So, what we need to do with this plot of land is plow the soil. That's going to turn it into a garden. We now have a garden patch, which is going to be very important for us, because here we're going to start making some turnips. Alright, and once a day you can click this button to gain a weather card. This is very much like Book of Hours, except there isn't too much use for these, except the rain and the warm sun, because you can use that in place of fertilizer. That's going to speed up the growth of our little turnips. So 1 minute from now we're going to get our very first turnips, and as we wait for that, let's continue clearing out the clutter. Found another plot of land and 2 bronze monies. And by default stacking is on, and you can pull the stacks apart, or if you click and hold on the name, you can move the full stack. Let's continue. And we found ourselves a rusty pot. There are 2 ways to brew a potion, the easier being with the recipe. Put the recipe into the cauldron, then add the ingredients. Recipes describe the needed components, steps and rituals. With them, even a novice can brew a potion, though not with perfect efficiency. So basically, as long as you have the recipe and the ingredients, you're going to be able to make the potion. But sometimes it's not the most efficient. So as long as you have the necessary pillars, strength, you will be able to experiment and maybe find other ways that might work better for you. And we got 2 recipes already. We got a basic coagulation potion. All it needs is 3 turnips. And we have a regenerative potion, which needs turnip pastes and amber power. But now let's place these a little further away and just continue clearing the house. We found a wooden mortar and Nana sickle. A roughly hewn mortar carved from a piece of wood, yet neatly lacquered inside and perfectly suitable for grinding ingredients. Crushed ingredients lose some potency, but they can be used to brew potions that cannot be made from whole ingredients. Sometimes more than one portion can be obtained from the same material. So basically, we're gonna use the mortar to refine certain ingredients and use the pot to turn them into potions. We also got this sickle. Crafted from polished bronze, this small sickle feels light and balanced in hand, yet its edge is unexpectedly sharp. It subtly enhances the wielder's ability to harvest both crops and ambient energies, gently peeling back the layers of the unseen. But for you, it is also a memento of the person you knew so little about, but received so much from her. This sacred instrument will enhance your mastery of the veil. And veil is this pillar here, which we start with 1 strength. So I'm just going to open my alchemist and place this card right here. That's gonna make him equip it. You can see right here, we gained a little tooltip that tells us what we have equipped. The only thing I'm not sure about, that hasn't been a thing in the earlier versions, is that you cannot actually unequip it. You have to find something else and replace what you have with that. Anyway, and we cleared all the clutter. We found the road to the city. We have a fully usable shack now. 1 suspiciously logged book, for which we're gonna need a library. Okay, the shack is where we're going to put our alchemist to sleep. That's going to restore energy. And if we also put some food with him, that will also restore hunger. You are able to sleep without any food, and that will only restore energy. For now, let's start exploring the city here. Explore the city fate has brought you to. Surely you will find both friends for your journey and foes who may try to hinder you. At first we found a pharmacy. The local potion depot founded by the Church of the Three-Bodied God. They are ready to buy everything you offer them at a low price and resell it to the residents at an outrageous cost. It would be more profitable for both you and the buyers to trade without intermediaries, but convenience sometimes proves to be a decisive argument. Also, local nuns will gladly introduce you to religious work ethics and train you to be a better worker. For a price, of course. So what we can do right here is sell whatever potions we make. Not very profitable. And we can also pay. The three-bodied god asks no coin. The nuns who offer training do. The greater your working skills, the more costly their teaching becomes. So sometimes you need to put more than one of the cards. And apparently, because we're a level 2 worker, 3 bronze just doesn't cut it, so not for this time. Let's continue exploring. We found the Adventurers Guild. If you have enough coin and room in your house, you may hire adventurers. They will aid in any task, from gathering flowers to venturing to the world's edge. Remember, the duty of feeding your hirelings rests with you. So this is the other important part of the game. We're going to hire basically minions and have them assist us. Eventually, we're going to be able to farm much more food than we're gonna use, so we can have enough upkeep. And I'm actually gonna go to sleep now, just to show you how this works. Sleeping without supper is not unusual if you are poor. It restores your energy, but not your hunger. And it's gonna take a little bit. Your hunger is constantly decreasing. And we have all our energy restored. Next time we're gonna have turnips, so we can deal with the hunger as well. Let's see what we can hire here. For 1 coin, we can hire some low-life adventurer. If your prayers to the three-bodied god are heard, he might at least manage to slay a few rats or fetch a handful of flowers from the forest. And we got ourselves some basic adventurer. A hired mercenary, not suited for delving into the essence of matter, but quite capable for journeys to distant lands. So we got an adventurer. As you can see, he has energy just like us, and hunger just like us, but they also have a timer. 450 seconds, and when this is up, they're going to either ask for another payment, or if you don't pay them, they just go home, and then you have to hire another one. And this one also comes with 2 levels in pain and 1 in veil, so that makes him better in some aspects than we are. Oh, is this a button? Oh, I like it. Looks like that immediately ejects everything from the action, so you don't have to open it. Interesting. So now we have 2 turnips and turnip seeds. Okay, the game doesn't really explain it very well, but the way seeds work is that you see you have this seed fertility score here, and this is going to go down every time you use this bag of seeds to grow something. And in the case of turnips, one full bag has a fertility of 10. So ultimately you're getting 10 turnips out of one bag of seeds. Later on with more rare plants, this fertility is going to be lower. So you have to be kind of smart about when you plant and what. But turnips will always be plenty. And we can get our adventurer to start farming them. Let's actually make another garden. So we have 2 gardens, but don't have any extra seeds. And for that, we're gonna need to find the marketplace. Here we go, we found the market. Huge rows of all sorts of stuff. For now, you can buy materials or turnip seeds here. They will certainly sell them to you for a bronze denier. But if you add more, much juicier offers can appear. The local tavern will gladly sell you some food for your coin, and if you are known to the buyers, you can try to sell your own potions here. Alas, it will take a long time and is frowned upon by the Adventurers Guild. And we also found a surveyor. Around your cabin is an open field, but all the land near the city belongs to the king. Fortunately, the king is more interested in money than in fields. But beware, when the king realizes that there is demand for this land, every next plot will become more expensive. So basically you're gonna use the surveyor to buy more empty plots of land as you need it. But it's gonna become more expensive. And on the market, we can buy all sorts of stuff. You just pick up a money and place it into whichever slot you want to buy. So now we're buying seeds. Your coin purse is light, but luck favors the frugal. These turnip seeds are humble, hearty, and just what you need to start planting your future. Okay, and see. The last time when I put in the warm sun in the place of fertilizer, that made it so the turnip grew in only a minute, and without that it now needs 2. So having appropriate fertilizer is going to be important. At least if you care about time. This is a very chill game after all. There is basically no time limit or any sort of constraint. At least none that I have found in my time playing this game. So you can just take your time doing whatever. We're going to need some more turnips to start making potions. The early game is a whole lot of waiting until you have everything set up. Not much is going to happen. Hello there. We have a neighbor. Hey there, howdy. I see you're moving in. Looks like we'll be neighbors. I settled out here not too long ago myself, in this little exile patch for folks of the magical sort. They like to keep us at a distance from the city, so we best stick together. Name's Marina, and this here's Banjo. Don't worry, he doesn't bite. Well, unless he thinks you're threatening me. But I trust you won't, right? Looks like you're starting up with alchemy, huh? I've got a knack for whispering to animals. Who knows, maybe we'll be useful to each other. Now then, let's start your housewarming the right way, with a bite to eat. From our homestead to yours, begin. Oh, wow, you have 9 levels in Vale, 2 in Song. I really don't want to get on your bedside. You some sort of animal whisperer witch. We found a forest edge here. Let's talk to our neighbor. Establish some rapport. And let's send the adventurer into the forest here. Solid forest glade where neither rare herbs grow nor dreadful monsters dwell. Yet it is perfect for a leisurely stroll and for gathering the simplest resources. Most challenges here can be accomplished with worker skill, though on rare occasions some familiarity with Void will help. That is not a quality that we have. But oh well. And we got a peasant breakfast. Ignorant nobles think that peasants are constantly starving, and so it should be. However, a true king and his tax collector know that one can work only as much as he eats, so peasants truly eat a lot, as it should be. We now have a good amount of food. This has a food value of 6. That is twice that of the turnip. And it's decomposable, which means that if you toss a decomposable card into a garden patch, that turns it into fertilizer. Haven't really found a reason to do that though. Regular water actually works in place of fertilizer. And this card has a withering quality. So you see this has a timer. And once that's out, it's going to rot and disappear. So we should use it up before that. It's probably gonna be the next time we go to sleep. And looks like we found the city proper. The streets of Camelot are teeming with people and noise. At night they quieten somewhat, but the city is too grand to fall completely silent, even for an hour. And within it, one can always encounter the unexpected. Most challenges here can be accomplished with worker skill, but on rare occasions, basic familiarity with Mirror will help. So for now, these are really basic locations. Not much to do around here. But that will change the moment the turnip business starts booming. Okay, these exploration type events tend to take a little time. You have walked for a long time today and found enough things. Now it is time to return home with your loot. Got a branch, stone, a map to the forest near the city. We're going to need to use the library for this. Found an old pocket knife, blueprint for a craft room, and another stone. Pretty good. Let's put these out of the way. Okay, let's get you holding a little more water. And here we found a bunch of leftovers. Some free money. Face of a brass statue. Small brass face, tarnished with age, seems to watch with unblinking eyes. Holding it, one might catch fleeting glimpses of others' reflections, sharpening insights into their intentions and secrets. Though the truths revealed are often fragmented, this sacred instrument will enhance your mastery of the mirror. And also found a recipe for a collective potion. That is a bit of a high-level recipe. We're not gonna be able to make it just yet. Alright. And now that we are running a little low on hunger, let's eat a little. Okay, let's send you into the city. And as you can see, you can overflow with your hunger meter, which means now we have a whole lot of time before we need to eat again. Let's see, what do I do with you? Don't want to send you to the forest, because that can take a while. So let's have you draw some water. You know what? Let's try using this frame. This is gonna be our alchemy station over here. I'm gonna put all things alchemical in here. Okay, here we go. You can put water here for the fertilizer. And you see, it went down from 120 seconds to 80. So it is important for efficiency, but technically not required. Okay, what did you find? More leftovers, a gossip, and another recipe for a vivid dream potion. Which again is a bit high level for us. Gossip is going to be used with the library. Speaking of, if I want to build, I'm going to need an empty plot of land. So let's try to buy one. And because we're just starting out, we only need to pay 1 bronze for a plot of land. That is slowly going to keep increasing. Oh, hi, the neighbor's back. Hey there, neighbor. You won't believe what one of my sheep dug up. Poor thing's been bleating like a haunted bell ever since. I pulled this nasty little coin out of her belly, and, well, it gives me the chills. Feels wrong, like it's watching you somehow. Figured you're the kind who might know what to do with it. Me, I'll stick to warm essences, thank you kindly. Okay, we're going to need to wait for our alchemist. Our worker's going to need a break soon. Okay, so I understand that this early game is going to be a little boring, possibly not what you expected, but it's going to pick up in pace. Very soon, I promise. So, what do we have here? An empty coin. Once bearing the mark of value, its face is now erased, replaced by 3 more waning rings, each finer than breath, etched into its surface. The coin holds no worth, yet you feel that you can buy nothing with it. If it even makes sense, this sacred instrument will enhance your mastery of the void. So we're getting all these equipments that gives you various bonuses. That's going to be useful when we start getting different alchemical ingredients that are going to require some sort of mastery. I'm going to need a blueprint for the library. In other words, we need to keep exploring whatever we can. Okay, he is low both on energy and on food. So let's get him to take a little nap here. And we found nothing with these basic exploration locations. That is unfortunately always a chance. Okay, and now that we have some turnips, we can start doing some alchemy. You can see that once we open the interaction with the pot, the recipes will list what their particular level of mastery is gonna be. So for the coagulation potion, you're going to need 3 levels in Veil if you want to do this on your own. So you see, if I put it right here, you can use these buttons and it would grab 1 turnip from the pile, so you don't have to drag it. And finally place the alchemist, and then you can start going. However, I'm gonna show you something. Gonna put the alchemist here and the turnip. And that gave us some turnip paste. Now, if we compare it, regular fresh turnip has a Veil level of 2. It's an ingredient and it's saturated, whereas turnip paste has a Veil level of 1. It's a powder and it's a filler and simple. These are little obscure qualities that are going to, I think, determine the overall quality of your potions. I'm not completely sure of that yet, but what I am sure of is that because we have level 2 in Veil, and we see that the turnip has a max level of 2, we are capable of working with it directly and don't need the recipe. So what I can do is, you see, the coagulation potion needs 3 Veil, and the recipe itself goes for 3 turnip which adds up to 6 whale, so it's not very efficient. So in the recipe, the first ingredient is always the foundation, so this calls for turnip. And what I can do is start it with the turnip and actually place a turnip paste right here, which you see has level 1 in whale, so these two together give the 3 that is needed for the coagulation potion. And for the third ingredient, we can just put in water. And with the alchemist, you see we are capable of starting this recipe. If you can't, it's going to tell you. Our adventurer has waken up. Let's have him continue to explore. And as you can see, because we used a bunch of water, we made not 1 but 2 coagulation potions. So that's a little neat trick for you in the early game. Because if you use the recipe, you almost always get only 1 potion. So there you have it. Okay, I like placing the potion right next to the recipe, so I can always find it. Let's see what this says about advanced alchemy. The second way to brew a potion is to use a formula. With this approach, the exact ingredients aren't important, only the power of their pillars matters. Every potion depends on the first ingredient you add in the potion and the potency of its dominant pillar. After adding the core ingredient, you must reach the required pillar powers specified by the formula. Without a recipe to rely on, you depend on your mastery of the pillars to determine the necessary steps and rituals. So basically, as long as you work from the recipe, your actual mastery of the pillars don't matter, because you are always using the ingredients that the recipe calls for. But if you're not using the recipe, you can only use ingredients that you have the mastery for. That's pretty much it. To handle ingredients, you must be at least as strong in each pillar as the ingredient requires. Individually, if you add 2 turnips, each with 2 whale, you need 2 whale, not 4. The exact formula is revealed after you successfully brew the potion, either by following a recipe or through lucky experimentation. And if we open the grimoire now, put this back. You see, we have all our recipes here. And it lists all the cards we can find, even the ones we haven't found already. And it also lists how you can obtain it. That's very nice of the game. If you're looking for one specific thing, you can just look it up anytime you want. There's a whole lot of stuff already. We haven't even found all of that. It will come in time. Let's see, we have a buyer here. The city's residents are accustomed to the small shack where an elderly woman once sold chemical substances. They're not particularly concerned that you've taken her place. Read the slot name to see what the buyer wishes to purchase. Occasionally, customers will accept something similar to their original request. So you want coagulation potion, but you're okay with an animal corpse. or a repair potion. Those are oddly specific, but okay. Here's a potion. And that is going to get us money. Also have a battered squirrel here. The wounded and famished beast, utterly devoid of hope for self-preservation, ventures even among humans. Someone skilled in Veil can tend to its wounds, or Turnip may help. Okay, so this has level 3 in Veil. I don't remember if that quality was visible before. I think what that means is if you have 3 Veil with your Alchemist, you can just deal with it, or use a Turnip for a good solution every time. Okay, and it got us a branch, some Heracleon Blossom seeds, and apparently didn't even need the Turnip. That's good enough for me. And you give us a whole bunch of money and a rumor. Alright. Got to keep this going. So, in the early game, this is basically how you make money. You grow turnips, you make turnip paste. And then you just start making watered up healing potions. Maybe not the most ethical practice, but I am low on money. See? This way almost always gives us 2. Mostly because water is a filler. If you don't use water and instead use another paste or maybe a whole turnip, you have a better chance of getting a strong potion. Which, apart from being a little stronger, I don't know if it's any better. You want materials, which I can only buy at the market. And I don't think I want to buy from the market just to give to you, so get out of here. Plant some more turnips. Okay, I could put leftovers here, even though it's technically not fertilizer. I don't think I have actually tried that one. Let's see if that helps. Ooh. And we are visited by the Inquisitor. The duty of the Royal Inquisitor is to ensure the safety of citizens from treacherous sorcerers, evil witches, and dishonest poisoners. In short, it is to ruin the lives of honest, hard-working folk of the magical craft, and to exact a bribe from them for any mistake. If you haven't committed a crime, then he'll just leave. Otherwise, you had better give him a bribe so as not to fall under investigation. Don't just pay him for no reason, because with every bribe, his greed will increase. So, if you have played Cultist Simulator before, this might be familiar to you. The Inquisitor is basically like the Bureau investigators. He's gonna stay around a little bit and look for any sort of crime or poison that you got brewing. So you really need to be careful about when you're doing your shady business. which you are technically not required to do, actually. You are perfectly capable of playing this game, being a regular alchemist. There is absolutely no reason to do poisons. Okay, how are we now? See, fertility is slowly going down with the turnip seeds. Once it's out, we need to buy some more. But the game is very forgiving. Comes to that. Okay, you found 2 bronze and a gossip. These rumors and gossips are going to come into play once we have a library. Because everything we do in the library is going to need knowledge, which is what these cards have. But that's a little ways away. Let's actually send you to the forest here. Okay, and let's sell one at the pharmacy. So you know how inefficient that is. Got another buyer. You also need materials. Well, do what I do then. Just go to the market. Okay, we found some nettle. And a blueprint for the library. So, the nettle withers away. But if you process it in the mortar, it stops that. Okay, and we sold our first potion for a single bronze. You see, if a buyer comes and wants coagulation potion, they pay 3, so going to the pharmacy is very inefficient and usually not worth it. But if you really need money, then I suppose it's doable. Now, I want to make this library. Need a plot of land, we have that. And materials, which I do not have. So, we're going to the market. And this is where it gets a little interesting. You see, we are buying materials, but materials have different tiers. So if we put in only 1 bronze, it's gonna give us branch and stone, which is not what we need. So we're just gonna keep adding more money until it changes. And you see, with 2 bronze, it turned into basic materials. 2 coins, already enough for decent supplies. Basic materials to build, mend, and make with confidence, but not extravagance. And if I were to keep piling up money, obviously once you have access to silvers and golds, this becomes a little less tedious. And you actually need it, because higher level materials apparently cost more than 6 bronze. Good to know. I don't think you actually need to pull these off. If you put in too many, they are gonna give you back the change. Let's see if I'm correct here. Indeed I am. Which can also get a little annoying if you want to buy more than one at a time. But no matter. And so, the Inquisitor finished. And didn't find anything? The fact that I didn't find anything illegal on your farm, well, that's probably my mistake. But for now, let's assume you're a law-abiding citizen, which means you have the honor of receiving a royal order. Here, take it. And listen, this hear ye nonsense, that's just official parchment talk. Don't go thinking this is actually public knowledge. If word gets out, our next conversation will be very short. And don't drag your feet on the job. And so, because we are currently law-abiding, we gain the King's Order, which is basically a quest. You'll see. Hear ye, a royal decree from His Majesty. Foul assassins struck at our sovereign, yet by faith and loyalty, the blade met not the king, but his noble steed. Now the beast lies wounded, and the realm's finest doctors are called to its aid. They request coagulation potion to seal its wounds, regenerative potion to mend its torn flesh, and anesthetic potion to grant it respite from pain. Let no delay hinder this sacred request, for such a valiant life shall not fade. Thus is the will of the king. So it is spoken, so it shall be done. So, we have a quest now. Gonna need to make one of each potion. And then, if the Inquisitor or the tax collector arrives, we're gonna be able to give this to them. And then we'll get our reward. Let's keep the turnips going. Got some nettle pulp here. Okay, go and fetch me some water, please. Okay then. We are on day 3, and it has been about an hour. So I think I'm going to cut the video here. I feel like this is okay-ish for first impressions, and I promise if you come back the next time, things are going to get a little more interesting. I'm gonna do the library, start actually making explorations, and crack open this book. But for now, I am going to leave it here. Thank you for watching. If you got this far in the video, then please give it a like, it helps me more than you know. And if you're a fan of these kinds of games, definitely check this one out. I'm going to leave a link for the Steam page in the description. This is Ways of Alchemy, and I'm Green Pangolin, and I will be back next time. See you around.